Hi everyone, good afternoon. This is Beena, Assistant Professor from MBA Department from SNS College of Technology. In my last video, I have gone through the strategic management in which we have gone through the strategy analysis. So today, let's have a small recap of what we have done in the last video. Is that a small recap on the external factors of the strategy analysis. So whenever we frame a strategy or we do the analysis of a strategy, we need to consider the external factors. That is what I have, like in my last video, I have explained the pestle analysis, the 6 external factors that is contributing the strategy analysis. So today, let's have a small guess on the topic. So what we are going to do is that the continuation of the external factors. So one of the important analysis which has been done to determine the other external is that the Michael's 5 force model. So this is one of the wing in the industry analysis. So in my last video, I have clearly explained there will be the two category. One is macro environmental analysis and another one is the industry analysis. So in the macro environmental analysis, we have gone through the pestle analysis, and now in the industry analysis, we are going to see the Porter's 5 force model. So what is meant by the Porter's 5 force model? It is a strategic framework which is used to analyze the competitive dynamics of an industry. So that will help the business access industry attractiveness, understand the competitive pressures, and develop strategies to gain the competitive advantage. So let's have a deep discussion on what is meant by the competitive rivalry that is existing among the organizations when there is a stiff competition in the market. So this forces examines the level of competition among existing firm in the industry. So what contributes to the competitive rivalry is the key factors: the number of competitors and the industry growth rate, the product differentiation and the brand loyalty, the price wars and the marketing strategies, the industry profitability and the barriers to exit. So what is all impact is that there will be the high competition. When there is a high competition in the market, that will lead to the price reductions, reduce the profit margins, and need for the constant innovation. So when there is a high competition has been prevailing, like the competitors or the organization will try to reduce the price so that they can reduce the profit margins and they can attract the customers. The low competition, it will allows for the higher pricing power and profitably. When there is no competition or when there is very few competition, the organization will automatically go for the higher pricing policies. Say for example, in the airline industry, there is an intense competition among the airlines that leads to the price wars, the lower profit margins, and the need for the differentiation through customer service and the loyalty programs. So what will be the next factor is the threat of the new entrants. What is the threat of the new entrants? This force analysis how easy or difficult it is for the new business to enter the market. The key factors that is contributing for the threat of the new entrants will be the capital investment requirements, the economies of scale, and the cost advantages of the existing firms, the brand loyalty and the customer switching costs, the regulatory and the legal barriers, and the access to the distribution channels. What impact it will have is that there will be the high threat where the new competitors can enter easily, increasing competition and the reducing profitability. And when there is a low threat, that will be a strong barriers to entry to protect established firms for new competition. Say for example, the banking industry has a low threat of new entrants due to strict regulation. There is a high capital requirements and strong customer trust in the established brand. So next factor will be the bargaining power of the suppliers, where this force examines how much influence suppliers have over pricing and the business operation. The key factors that will give for the bargaining power of the suppliers will be the number of supplies versus demand of raw materials, the availability of the substitute materials, the switching cost of the businesses, the dependence on a single or the few suppliers, and the supplier brand strength. What impact it will have is that higher supplier power and the when there is a higher supplier power, there will be the increase in the production cost and reduces profitability. When there is a low supplier power, the business can negotiate better terms and maintain cost control. Say for example, in the semiconductor industry, suppliers like TSMC and Intel have high bargaining power as there are limited manufacturers of advanced chips required by tech companies. What will be the bargaining power of the buyers? This forces assess the influence customers have on price pricing, quality, and the business decision. The key factors that is being contributing to the bargaining power of buyers will be the number of buyers versus number of sellers, the product differentiation and availability of the substitutes, the price sensitivity of customers, the customer switching cost, and the importance of the product or service to the customers. And finally, what impact that will go for the bargaining power of the buyers is that higher buyer power leads to the price reduction or higher product quality expectation and competitive pressures. Where the lower buyer power is there, business can maintain pricing and the profitability. And finally, the final factor for the Michael's force model will be the threats of substitutes. The key factors that is contributing is that the availability of substitute products and services, the price performance ratio of substitutes, the switching cost for the customers, and the level of innovation in the substitutes. Hope this video can give you a detailed description on the factors, the Porter's 5 force model, which has been included to analyze the industry specific competitive rivalry. So we'll meet you in the next video with more inputs on the strategy analysis. Thank you for watching this video.